Hi, guys. Welcome to Your Beautiful Day. I'm Jen Mog, Mother of Gratitude, the Gratitude Radio Network. And I hope wherever this podcast is finding you, that you are having a beautiful day full of gratitude. And today I have with me Neil. Hello, Neil.
Hey, what's going on, Jen? It's exciting always to be talking. And wow, Easter weekend craziness. Now I'm back to normalcy of a regular week, and April's going to be crazy. I already can tell with all the cool things going on. So, introduce our guest. And again, I think it fits perfectly, Jen, with what we're trying to do with Gratitude Radio Network and the fact that has her show on Amazon Prime, her pilot, and she'll be filming others. And we're always looking at artists and how we can highlight them in so many ways.
Yeah, I love the indie world. I'm crazy about it, and that's where all my people are. And today I have somebody with me that I'm so excited to bring to you guys because she is right there on the forefront of my heart and what I love. And she's a fiction film writer. Or hang on, let me go back. She's in the, hang on, sorry. I have 3 kittens, Sharisse, and
Yeah, just let it just keep going, Jen. Keep it flowing because I can just edit that because I'm going to do it. I'm learning some of my editing myself. Go.
So today on our show, we have an exciting filmmaker, producer, and screenwriter. Her name is Sharisse Zeroonian. Sharisse, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Sharisse. Now, tell me how this all started. How did you get involved in wanting to be a producer, a writer? Has it always been something you always wanted to do?
I went through, like a lot of little kids, I kind of went through like so many different career options. Like I know at one point, the first thing I remember wanting to be was a veterinarian, oddly enough. Like there was that. And then I wanted to become like a teacher at one point and this, and I kind of went through a lot of stuff, but I had always been pretty hardwired for writing and like the humanities and pretty much anything that has to do with reading and writing and arts. And I'd always liked working with cameras and film. When I was a kid, like I had my my parents had like a handheld camera, and like when I was maybe like 12 or 13, that thing was like always in my hand. It was like a part of my body. Pretty much, I was always using it. And I got into video editing when I was 12, so I started kind of doing digital stuff with that, and then and when I got to high school, kind of thinking about college, I was kind of thinking about what I want to do, and I wanted to pursue writing in some way, but I always been told, you can't make a living off of that, it isn't viable, this and that, and and because I'd always been into writing, since I was in like first grade, before that, actually, I'd write stories and things like as assignments for school, but I would enjoy them. And then I would write fiction of my own, but I knew I wanted to pursue that in some way, but I was like, okay, how do I make this like, in a way that I can feed myself? So I chose elementary education initially, and I ended up switching into film. Yeah, I ended up switching into film and TV. Yeah, go ahead.
That's cool. I have a master's degree in education, and I was an elementary school teacher, so I understand exactly the interestingness. And I guess we have to learn to perform. And we're going for elementary education, especially keep the kids on task and interested.
Yeah, I ended up switching, but it's funny because even after I graduated with my bachelor's in film and TV, I ended up working at an after-school program for a bit, and now I, as a side hustle, because of COVID, I do tutoring. So there's definitely a lot, and tutoring, I work with kids of like all ages, really, but it was, I do have some elementary school aged kids there, and it definitely, you do have to kind of be engaging and try to make lessons fun and not just like sit and talk like rah, 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 all day. Yeah, so I did that. And I think I'd stopped denying myself the chance to do film and writing in like junior year of college. For a long list of reasons, I just found like that going through a traditional education program it wasn't really working that well for me. So I switched, and I wanted to do more creative stuff. And so I said, okay, why not? So and I also work at I know I said I do tutoring, but I also my main gig is working at a cable access TV station in my town. So I use the film degree that way, I guess. But I also
Right,
do,
right.
yeah.
There's so much awesome stuff, but then you get the access to some of that video editing equipment and cameras that's interesting as well. All right, Jen. And I started out that way in cable access TV for my first TV show, PCTV Studios, over 25 years ago in Pittsburgh. And part of it is we're on Bethel Park TV, which is a cable access station in Pittsburgh,
Oh, wow.
the TV show. So go ahead, Jen.
Well, this
Oh,
is going full circle because I took classes at Cable Access in Hillsborough County.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was one of the things that Dr. Paul Vera wanted to do. For some reason, he wanted to do cable access, so I ended up taking that. It's amazing how that is such a playground people don't even understand. It is so amazing. Well, you have a TV show on Amazon Prime. It's the pilot called 1 + 1 is 2. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it is based off a stage play that I wrote when I was 16. But the pilot is much better. Play. It's so the original play had been about a woman in the 1960s in Massachusetts, and back then you couldn't really diagnose learning disabilities, but today we call her dyslexic, and but obviously she didn't know that growing up in the 40s and the 50s, so she had to drop out of school. And now as an adult, in 1968, she starts a grassroots movement to increase handicapped children's access to public education, because back then only 1 in 5 kids with disability was allowed to go to public school. And but the thing is, she becomes so focused on that goal because, part of it is like to avenge the way she was sort of treated as a kid. Like, so because as a kid, like, she wasn't given those opportunities and she was ridiculed a lot and stuff, so she kind of has a bit of like a complex, let's say. So she almost like she focuses her life exclusively on her cause, to the point where like her family and her friends start like fading in the background, and it starts causing a rift in like her relationships with them. So it's kind of an interesting look at how an activist is not always sympathetic all the time, and like the mistakes they can make in their personal lives as as parents, as spouses, as friends. And that was for the TV show. I set it in modern day because it's very expensive to film everything like in 1960s period style all the time. Right. So in modern day, she's an elderly woman, and her husband and her daughter are writing a book about her life and career. And so it kind of centers around the process of writing her biography and, ascertaining what is the real truth behind, her mom will say, not her mom, her daughter will say like, hey mom, you did this to me when I was a kid and hurt my feelings. And then the main character will be like, no, that's not true. You're remembering it wrong, for example. And there's things like that. There's a lot of old familial wounds that get reopened and stuff. So the process of writing that book about her career just opens like the floodgates for everything. All the characters learn to reconcile different things and mistakes and triumphs that they also went through as, in the different roles in their life, like as parents or as spouses and stuff. So it really forces everybody to re-examine their legacies of who they were within a family. So.
And then you talked about dyslexia. Is that the older woman that had dyslexia?
It is the older woman that had it. She wasn't diagnosed, obviously, like back as a kid in the 40s and 50s, or as a young adult in the 60s. But and I haven't written the episode yet, but she's going to get diagnosed like in her 40s, which is going to be like around, the early 80s or so. So yeah, but in where the show takes place in the pilot, like it's she's already 78 years old and she knows she like has it. So that's, yeah.
Go, Jen.
Did you run into anybody with dyslexia growing up? How did you come up with this? What was your inspiration?
No, there's a lot of people in my life who have, like, my brother is autistic, for example, and like, obviously he had a lot of difficulties in education stuff. And of course there are friends of mine who kind of went through similar things. And I went to a school where a lot of kids had learning disabilities. I've got some executive function stuff going on myself. The thing is, the mental health professional in my life, we're trying to figure out if it's actually like an ADD or if it's just because of like the anxiety disorder that I have that I don't always pay attention, for example. So things like that lifelong struggle of, like what is wrong with me, or not just me in general, like I mean
Right.
that as a general idea of someone thinking, oh my god, what is wrong with them and why am I different and what does that mean. I think that's something that pervades a lot of my work, but I wanted to do it in this sense specifically because I don't know why I chose dyslexia specifically. I think I wanted to be something that I think I wanted to be something that would show. I mean, I wanted this person to have a disability that it impaired them enough significantly, but not significantly enough that they like. I want to show that she could raise a family and that she could have a husband and that she could do all these things. I'm not saying that people who are like more severely disabled can't do these things, but I just wanted to show. I feel like when you show disabilities in the media, it's almost like they either go two extreme ends of the spectrum. Like they show someone who's like really, really, really severely disabled, and like,
Right.
or someone who's just so mild that you're like, what do they even have? So I kind of wanted
Exactly.
to make it a little more balanced. So yeah.
So how did you get on Amazon Prime? That had to be a big thing to get the pilot and then get on Amazon Prime. How's that process for filmmakers and people to get out there to get on that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. You can actually self-publish your work on Prime. That's what I did. It's because the mother of one of our child actors suggested putting the pilot out there just so people could see it and decide if they liked it. And, if they did, we'd keep making more. And so the thing about Prime, I mean, so it's not like Prime bought the show or anything.
No,
It's
but
just, yeah, I
they
put it
wouldn't know
there.
that. People wouldn't know that. So
Yeah,
that's a
it's
good
good.
tip that
Yeah.
you couldn't know, so that you're on Amazon Prime. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a huge audience. So
Yeah.
when you go on and just self-publish, what's the process? How does that work to get it?
It's very much like, I mean, I don't know if anybody listening has ever tried publishing an ebook on Kindle Direct Publishing, where you upload a manuscript and you have to wait for them to approve it, and then you put your cover on, and they allow you to decide, how much royalties you'll get and what the pricing will be and which countries you want it available in. I mean, it's all these different things you have to pick and choose. The process of putting a film or a TV episode up there is very much the same, but it's through, I believe it's called Prime Video Direct. That's where when you log in there and you see like how many views you get and your royalty information and stuff, I believe that's what it's through, Prime Video Direct. But it's yeah, you have to have an account first on Amazon in order to do it, and it's that's pretty much
People
it.
don't know that. So that's
Yeah,
the
I
thing that
didn't.
you could teach people, especially that have their product, but there's no way of earning, right? Because it's just going to be on list for prestige purposes. You can't earn off of that, can you? Based on number of views?
You can get royalties, but they make it very hard for you to get a significant amount of money. I mean, it's like you have to have a certain amount of, I mean, if you get, let's say, I don't know, a couple hundred views a month or something, they measure it in minutes. So how many minutes they've streamed the show. It's not like how many views the whole thing has gotten. They don't count that as one view. Like it's a 20-minute pilot. So like if, it counted as 20 minutes watched, and you can get, you do get paid per minute, but it's a very small like amount.
Mhm.
And I think like a month's worth of views or let's say, I don't know, a couple hundred minutes will only get you like, I don't know, a few cents or something. Like they make it really hard.
But I guess he just uses branding. Okay, Jen, what next question you have?
Well, the thing is with Amazon, it's about for a movie, now it's down to I think a penny per view.
Something like that.
Something like that.
And that's crazy when you think podcasting. You're looking at CPM of $15 for 1,000. So isn't that crazy for 1,000 views?
It is. But the thing is, people don't know that, and that's why we're starting the Gratitude Radio Network, and that's why we're doing what we're doing, so that filmmakers like Sharisse will have a place to go and actually make money and be able to film more. And that's my goal in life.
Exactly. Great. All right. Next question.
So my question to you is how many episodes are going to be in your series?
So season 1 was supposed to have 8, but like financially now, I mean, due to COVID and stuff and certain actors like no longer being available, it's like I'm trying to figure out how many I can actually do. Like I've had to make a lot of modifications due to COVID. I've had to cut down like the runtime of episodes. I've had to cut out like how many, certain characters being in, for social distancing concerns. I've had to make certain modifications for how much physical contact can happen in scenes. So there's a lot. And I think because of that, certain scenes have had to be compromised. So I think that we could maybe do, I know I'd said 8, and I think now that I have my tutoring gig, that still could help a little bit with the money. We still maybe could, but I mean, I'd say maybe I'd be very surprised if
where are you filming at?
We're filming in Massachusetts. That's where I'm from.
Okay, so you're filming in Massachusetts. Are you doing like some type of GoFundMe or film or raising money or anything? How are you raising money for this?
We've done multiple GoFundMes, and like, because we didn't get enough in one, we had to make another and another. And so, I mean, sometimes we all sort of pitch in, and like I pitched in a little bit and stuff, so we,
Do you have the advertisers to help you?
No, I don't have any advertisers. I mean, on my Facebook page, I'll like do advertising. Right. But to answer the original question, I think given the financial limitations and the COVID limitations, I'm thinking, well, even though a lot of us are getting vaccinated now, I'd say maybe it would be unlikely to have it go beyond like 9 or 10 episodes. But I'm thinking, yeah, maybe right, awesome. 9 or 10.
All right, Jen. So go ahead with that gratitude question.
Thank you. So during this process of you having your own TV series, was there a moment of gratitude you could share with us?
Let me think. I mean, there's certainly moments where I got stressed out about it, so I'm trying to like think about gratitude. Yeah, no, there's a lot to be grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for the cast. You're an amazing group of people, and they're really talented. I mean, obviously, I handpicked them myself, but they are a very talented group of people. And the crew, I can give them a shout out here. The company is called Hop Top Films. They're in Rockland, Massachusetts, which is maybe it's not too far from Boston, but it's they do a great job. And the quality is amazing, the technical quality. And, I also had some very talented people kind of helping me out with editing notes or even directorial notes. So I'm grateful for those people who have helped me in this journey. I'm grateful to anybody who has donated money. Definitely. I'm also grateful to those who have lent us things like their houses to film in, for example, or people who have lent us any. Sorry?
I said, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Where can they find you, Sharisse?
People can find me, like on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me at my Instagram, which is Mediterranean Homesick Blues, all one word, lowercase. That's my Instagram. And Facebook, I have a public Facebook page. It's just my name, Sharisse Zeroonian. And I've also got my Twitter, which is at Sharisse Naomi. It's my middle name, Z. And that's about it. I don't think I have any other social media beyond that. So, yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, Jen, let's go ahead and close it out.
Thank you, Neil. I appreciate it. This is so exciting to speak with new filmmakers who have really great ideas and bring it to the forefront of our mind and to everyone who has disabilities and showing them in a very balanced way. It's rare that we get to see this a part of society, and it's the balance. A lot of people are living with something and they're being able to balance their life. And I think this is a really great TV show that needs some funding. So if you could reach out to Sharisse and let's get her some money and help fund the rest of her episodes, and a little campaign for her would be really cool. And wherever life is finding you, I hope it finds you with gratitude. You have gifts that need to be opened, and just open your heart and you will find them. So remember, you are blessed, you are loved, and you are sacred. Mwah. Have a beautiful day.